this problem, we're going to graph some linear inequalities. I'm going to use two different notations, one that I prefer, but then one that our textbook actually tends to prefer. So our first example will be the inequality of x is less than 8. So these are all numbers that are less than 8. For example, 7, 6, 5, but also 7.5, 7.6, and so forth, up to 7.99999 essentially. So the way that we represent this on a number line is to go to the number 8, and I'm just going to mark a little tick on here and call it 8. And then since it's less than 8 but not including 8, we use an open circle to represent up to and not quite including, and then we simply shade the direction that we wish for the solutions to the inequality. So the numbers that are less than 8 would go to the left, right? Less than 8 would be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, all the way down to close to negative infinity, essentially as far as you want to the left. Now this is this notation that our textbook uses. I prefer a notation that uses brackets and parentheses to indicate less thans and bigger than. So in the case of x less than 8, I effectively come up to here and go to the same point and put the number 8, but I prefer to use an open parenthesis to represent up to 8, not including 8, so that's my open dotness, and then the fact that the parenthesis is opening this direction to the left means that the numbers that are included are to the left. So I don't actually have to shade anything. So pause the video for a second and see if you can do this red inequality down below, x bigger than or equal to 3. And assuming that you've had a chance to try that on your own, I'm going to draw down here x bigger than or equal to 3. So similar to before, I'm going to put a tick mark at 3 to represent the number 3. This time we are bigger than or equal to, which means we need to include 3. And so with the dot notation, the difference here is that we will use a closed dot to represent, yes, we are including 3, so not just 3.01, but every number up to and including 3. And this time the shading would go to the right, because we want the numbers that are bigger than 3, such as 4, 5, 6, 7. So the shading would go this direction. In the prep for the interval notation, the only difference is that still go to 3, but instead of using a closed dot, the parenthesis bracket notation would involve putting a bracket to represent up to and including. So you can see how the parenthesis corresponds to the open dots, the brackets correspond to the closed dots, and then the fact that the bracket is opening rightward means that the numbers that are included are those that are bigger than or equal to 3.